Morning, good day, good afternoon, or good night, depending on where you're at when you're watching this. My name is Dave Barker. I'm the owner and the creator of Detail Kegs. We're living in some strange times right now, and I don't mean with the corona or with the earthquakes we've been having. We do a lot with going through screens, right? Relationships go through screens, conversations, etc. We have hundreds of customers through 3 different countries. We are knocking on the door of crossing the Atlantic. I receive messages daily from people saying, "Oh man, like Detail Kegs have helped my operation, helped me do this, that, etc." I'm not the type of person to dwell on the small victories, is what I would call them, right? It took me till I traveled 2,000 miles to a detailing convention in Pennsylvania to realize how large Detail Kegs has become. And how much has that really affected a lot of businesses, right? Excuse me. Generally, big things don't come from just one dude, which is why I'd like to give a huge shout out to Kanaya. He's helped me more than most people know behind the scenes with a lot of R&D. Yeah, I call him my director of research and development. In fact, one of the tips I use a lot in these videos, it's the waterless tip, right? Once they show up from being on back order, I've been waiting for them for weeks. Once they show up, they'll be in the shop, but he was the one who pushed this, right? That's just one of the many, many things. Sneak peek of that. I mean, there's 4 people that know what this is for. We were supposed to have a YouTube live last weekend, but here we are, out here trying to be Steven Spielberg on making a 4-hour video on how to wash cars. But anyways, enough bragging about my buddy Con. In the videos, because there's a bunch of them, in the buckets I use, because I don't really talk about the mixtures in the buckets. I talk about some of the kegs, but not the actual buckets. The mixtures in the buckets themselves is always 1 gallon, or 1 ounce to 1 gallon, 1 to 128. Just to clear that up ahead of time, etc. As far as the video goes, it's long. I really do apologize. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know how to shove 7 washes into anything smaller. When I went back east, it made me really realize that the term like rinseless washing is a lot like, what up, man? The term rinseless washing is a lot like a hamburger, right? But people enjoy different hamburgers. People rinseless wash differently. People waterless wash differently. So the point of this video is to kind of show different aspects, different scenarios of jobs, excuse me, where you would use a specific rinseless wash or a specific waterless wash, kind of why and behind it. As far as the video goes, it's kid friendly. There's no cussing in it, anything like that. So you can go pop some popcorn. I know a lot of guys right now, a lot of people, a lot of families are quarantined. I know you've been Netflix and chilling, okay? Don't lie to me. There's nothing left to watch. So in a way, you're welcome, but thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll be hanging out, watching with you, enjoying my beer. Again, thank you for watching, and enjoy my new collection of license-free elevator music. So before we get started, I'm going to explain the difference of my wash buckets and why I even run 2 different wash buckets. When I rinseless wash, I only use, well, I guess I use 2 buckets sometimes, but for the wash process itself, I'm only using 1 bucket. Smaller bucket, I only use that for cleaner cars, coated cars, one-off mobile jobs that aren't going to have a lot of production, a lot of traffic through them. So, Gamma lids, they're awesome. I love them. Inside of this bucket, we have just a single dirt lock. The reason why I prefer dirt locks, let's see if I can, is if you look down in these holes, they're tapered, right? They go down in a V. And on the bottom, it's cut off. It's hard to show the cut off, but if you look really close, you can see those lips. So when you take your mitt and you scrub it, it forces the liquid down, but it doesn't allow it to come back up very easily. Super neat design, super unique. Nobody else makes their grit guards per se like Dirt Lock does. They're super neat. Show you how well it works. Swiped in here a couple times. Like, it's pretty gross, right? And it's obviously all trapped in the bottom. There's very, very little dirt around the sides of the bucket, right? So, with the introduction of Fusion, this bucket only sees wipeout. This bucket sees Fusion because it's more for dirtier cars, production, fleets, because I detail for a living, right? I detail full time. I do everything from coatings, dealership work, fleet work. I do it all. Heavy equipment, buses, you name it. So inside of here, down a little again, I have a dirt lock. Oh, come on, girl. It's pretty tight getting out. Oh, damn it. Got it. So in the bottom of this one, if you take your taller buckets with how they're tapered and you drop a dirt lock in, it's going to sit about right there. It's going to push against the side of the bucket, pushing them out so far, causing your bucket to crack. They break it. It's garbage. So what makes sense in my head is, well, I'll just pull it out. So underneath the dirt lock, I have a grit guard that I've taken and I cut the outside ring off of, because it does the same thing in these taller buckets. If you drop a grit guard in there, it only goes down to about right there, pushes against the side of the bucket, and it'll crack it after time. And it usually happens at the worst possible time. So, because this bucket sees a lot of production, a lot of dirt, a lot of grime, in my head, I go and I stack these on top of each other in the bottom of the bucket. The reason for that is when you go and you scrub your mitt it pushes the liquid down, and it's unable to stir up anything because of these baffles, right? Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, I don't know, man. But in my head, that's what makes sense to me. Ew. 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 So if you look at the bottom of this bucket, it is disgusting, right? Like like straight up sludge. Ew. But if you look, you can see lines in the dirt, right? See if I can angle all this. So you see that line, and you see this line. That's where the tabs on your dirt lock sit. So the bottom of your dirt lock and the top of the grit guard is this line right here. Let's see if I can, yeah, that little white line. So I mean, if just looking inside the bucket, nothing is coming up above the top of your dirt lock, right? Everything's getting trapped underneath everything. And this, I do more cars than I probably should without cleaning this bucket out. It's, like I said, it's my workhorse. I get the job done with this guy. I hate cleaning these buckets out too, obviously. But I think that's it. I think I just need to clean these buckets out. I need to start doing some washes. That's the construction. Those aren't earthquakes, aftershocks. I was used to the pops and the bangs until that earthquake actually hit. My anxiety has been. So, anyways, in the other bucket section, I didn't talk about my wheel bucket. So what I got here is an Autofiber wheel bucket. Autofiber buckets are pretty neat. They're half see-through, as you can tell. You got gallon markers on the side. These, I believe, it's got to be a traditional 5-gallon bucket, but it goes up to 3 gallons on the marker. In my wheel buckets, I use F-bomb, 1 to 128, an ounce to a gallon. So I fill up to 3 gallons, 3 ounces of F-bomb, and that's what I run with until it gets down to about where the dirt lock is, as you can see, and that's when I dump it, wipe it out, refill it. As far as cleanliness, this bucket gets cleaned a whole lot more than my wash buckets. Kind of embarrassing to say, but it's the truth. Wheels are gross, especially when I'm using this bucket. In fact, there's a wash that's in this whole motion picture of washes where I didn't use my wheel bucket, and I should have, right? It took me like 15 minutes to clean those rim faces, and that's not even the wheel wells, that wasn't the barrels, that was just the faces. And those 15 minutes are everything, right? Yeah, just keep that in mind. So in my bucket, sometimes, depends on the job, sometimes I run them, sometimes I don't, wheel woolies. They come in different shapes, different sizes. This is obviously a huge wheel woolly. This doesn't even fit in some rims because of your caliber, right? But demonstration purposes, sometimes I've got a woolly. Depends on the job. I always have this brush for the rubber on the tires, your wheel wells, brush them. I've grown to really, really love Autofiber rim and wheel towels. When I first saw these, I thought they were like rinseless double flips, right? Nah, man, check this out. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 towels right there. Right? Awesome towels. Then at the bottom, I obviously run dirt locks. Love dirt locks. great products. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the noise, but in here, as you can see, I've got a couple swipes. I'll swipe it again. Ew! And as you can see, this bucket does get cleaned more than my wash buckets. Embarrassingly enough. Right? Yeah, that's it. So some of the washes you'll see this bucket in action, some you won't. It just depends on the washes themselves, how in depth they are. Sweet. So, well, this stupid thing. Technology. I've had it today. Hang on. There it goes. Okay. So this is going to be my traditional rinseless wash. I've got, so where are we? So right here, I've got my rinseless wipeout keg, which is on a reel. There's my mess from that traditional wash, but it didn't end up happening. So my trailer is clear down there. I don't have a Fusion reel yet. It's on the list. I just need to figure out exactly what I'm going to be using Fusion for. In my wipeout rinseless keg, I have wipeout mixed 1 to 128, which is 1 ounce per gallon. It's a rinseless dilution. As far as this goes, and this really isn't too bad, right? A couple chips and whatnot, a couple bugs. So I'm going to be using Fusion, the wheel wells, rims, tires, probably the rockers. It's got a brand new windshield, so it's kind of dusty. I don't know if, yeah, you can see that. In there, I mean, it's really not horribly bad, right? Rims, tires, wheel wells. So I guess I should add one thing. I've said this a couple times, but I've also had a couple videos not record. So when I do a rinseless wash with these tips, they go from a super fine mist, as you can see, to pretty straight, direct stream, right? Woo! So I like being somewhere in the middle with a rinseless pre-soak, to the point of when you spray, the pattern's about yay big. So what I mean by that, oops, that's a little much. A little much again. Still a little much. A little much. A little much. Right there. So as you see what I mean? So when it blasts, it's about that big. That leaves a nice, thick, solid pre-soak for a rinseless wash. Waterless washing, it's a little bit different. You don't need that much liquid because all you're basically doing is putting enough liquid on the surface to encapsulate the dust so you can wipe that off. For rinseless washing, you're dealing with more dirt, more grime. Because yeah, I mean, you could waterless wash this, but you might be fighting some of this crap. Like, it's not much, but I would put this right on that line. Know what I mean? So, yeah, not to keep boring people with me blabbing and blabbing, but so I'd mention it. Can't forget my stool. Being a little guy, it's a struggle. Okay. Do a Fusion pre-soak first. I don't know where my head's going to get cut off at. So my fusion keg, I've got fusion mixed 20-to-1. So what it's recommended for an American Detailer garage for a rinseless pre-soak. Right, hit the back tire clean. I guess it's a good thing to mention too. I think I mentioned it in one of the other videos. The hoses on this keg are 25 feet as far as they stretch. So if you want more working space than that, get a 50-foot hose. Let's get to work now. What am I doing? Rookie! What am I doing? Rims first. It's been a long day. Okay? I even did it backwards. I normally do the back rim, dump this, wash this, then do this, because my bucket's right there. Right? And what do they say? Every day's a struggle. Now we'll backtrack. Now we're ready for the wipeout pre-soak. As I go, I'm going to blast the tires, blast the wheel wells, kind of push the dirt and debris out of the way. Hello. So, when it comes to your fabric, your felt wheel wells, with those right off the get-go, if they have like any dirt, debris, I almost burped. Sorry, excuse me. that was kind of weird, but it just adds to the rest of the week. You know what I mean. Anyways, so if there's any like large amounts of dirt, debris, even chunks of mud, like for those, I go with my drill brush and I'll hit it all with my drill brush and follow with compressed air, blow it all out. Get everything out that you can, dry. Then come in, hit it, etc. Another thing too, sure, you can rinse the wheel wells out with water. For me, for how I do it, that's just bringing another hose out, right? It's for the little bit of product that I use when I do it that way, that justifies it for the time that I have to bring out a second hose, deal with a second hose, etc. Yeah, hope that answers that. Take your double flip, pop it in, grab another one. Forgot to do the back tire. Rookie. I'll go do that right now. Now we'll go wash the back. Now I'll go over and dry it. I need a drying towel. Hang on. Okay, so I've got traditional dreadnought. Jeez. Glass towel, room towel, towel. I'm sure I've said this a million times too, but grab the towel, give it a few spritz. Wipe it down. have it. Yeah, hopefully this saves. Okay, so the video saved. We're gonna do a walk around quick. I did end up shining these tires up with some hyper dressing, mixed 1-to-1. That's all I hit. I didn't hit the wheel wells. Back up a little bit. Looks good. It looks good. Don't judge me on the smears you see on the window. Those are all on the inside. Let's see if I can. See? It's all on the inside, so don't judge me, okay? It's only an exterior. Tires look good. Right? Wheel wells look stellar. I just realized. Yeah, it's got a black eye. We just had an earthquake and I just got it on film. Goosebumps. And that's basically what you guys saw, right? So, this is what I was looking at moving. All this. I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but it goes a ways back there. This whole building was doing this. I'm not joking. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like, all these cars were just bouncing. And even my truck was just boof, boof, boof. Let's try this again. I tried doing this video yesterday, and right as I hit record, we had an earthquake hit. First one I've ever been in, and it was pretty freaky. I'll take the camera and turn it around. In the video, this thing's rocking back and forth, but there's like 40 cars behind us, and it was quite the sight to see. Never experienced anything like that in my life. In fact, I still have some goosebumps from it just being here. We've had aftershocks the last 24 hours. We actually had another one hit like 30 minutes ago. It was a 3.3. Nothing huge, right? But still enough to be like, oh yeah. Anyways, I don't know how you guys that deal with earthquakes live where you live. So, we're going to talk about pressurizing or filling up, pressurizing the kegs, 2 different applications. So, basically, you're hooked up to air or you're not hooked up to air. Being hooked up to air is pretty simple. You fill a keg all the way up, put your proper dilution ratio in, hook it up to, plug your regulator in, hook it up to air, and set it and rock and roll. You're ready to go. There's nothing complex outside of that. Now, when you're running not hooked up to air, it gets a little tricky. It's not bad, but there is some confusion there. So, basically, you need so much air volume inside the keg to be able to push out the contents, or else you'll pull the trigger and it'll just be done, because there's no air inside of here, because liquid doesn't compress the same way air does. So what I mean is, if you put, forget about that. So to figure about 40%, it's a little bit over half, right? So this is a 2.5 gallon keg, gallon and a half, right? Of fact, I think that's spot on. It's 1.5 gallons for this. So you fill it up with 1.5 gallons of liquid, pressure it up, unhook your regulator, and it's ready to go. You'll be able to push all the contents out without repressurizing, anything like that. So it's super convenient. So yeah, to fill it up, take your lid off. And for this keg, this is my waterless keg. Reason why I even go with a 2.5, I'll get that in a minute. So to figure out your dilution ratio, look at the back. We have a chart for your dilution, common dilution ratios. If you own a Detail Keg and you don't have one of these, send me an email. We'll figure something out. Email is support@detailkegs.com. Haven't really figured out what we're going to do with them, but they're neat to have. They're super, super useful. So go down here. 2 gallons says it takes. So I use Wipeout out of my waterless, and as a waterless it's 1:32, or 32:1. The 2 gallons, it's 8 ounces, so about 1.5 gallons, 6 ounces, right? The first time you pressurize, you fill and you pressurize your keg, you're gonna have an empty hose. There's gonna be nothing but air in the hose. You want to justify a little bit to fill that hose. I'll explain that in a little bit. So what I've got is I've got a little over 6 ounces of Wipeout, which to justify the little bit extra liquid, etc. It's exactly what it ends up being. Dump that in. Got our water. Now, these are just reused bottles. You can use distilled water, whatever. It's up to you. It's personal preference, right? I usually just use tap water. So, woo, about lost it. Fill it up with one. Get our second, and we'll put a little over half in. Close. Just a touch more. Perfect. Okay. Take the lid, put it back on. Shake it up if you want. Get nice mixed up. Grab the regulator, which, I mean, so when you buy a kit, it will not come with an air fitting, but it comes with everything else. There's too many different air fittings for us to supply air fittings. So hook it up like any other air tool, and you will pressure it up. Here you go, turn my air on. Rookie move. Okay, let's try that again. Sweet. Come on. Got a junk air fitting. So what I mean when you have an empty hose and you're going to want to purge the hose. So actually, I'll put that more in the pitcher. Should be good right there. So what I mean is there's a little bit of liquid still in here, but it's mostly empty, right? Watch the hose. When you plug it in. Jeez. Let me do this side. This keg has been modified to operate on its side. I'll show you why in a minute. So, but anyway, you see how it coiled up? So you lost some pressure in here when that happened, right? So to bump it back up, if your fitting doesn't leak, you just leave it hooked up. Mine does. I need to replace it. And just top it off, right? You can purge the line, make sure all the air's out of it. And it's done. You're ready to go. You're ready to rock and roll. Unhook it. And it's now pressured up, ready to go. You can unhook that, put it in whatever you're going to put it in. The reason why this is modified the way on its side is because I do a lot of mobile waterless jobs with this keg inside of a bag. These bags are super neat. They're IGL bags. The reason why I like them so much is you can open it up, take your keg, drop it in, right? Oops. And then you still have room. Hook up your hose, coil your hose up here. You've got room for 3 16-ounce trigger sprayers for various products. Put up top, you have a compartment. You can put all your clean towels. You can keep the clean stuff away from the dirty stuff. That's why I love these bags. It's super convenient for that. It's the only bags I found that are this big with this. I used to run another bag, the Adams large polisher bag. It's awesome too, but you need to put your clean towels in like Ziploc bags, something to keep it away from the dirty, right? Because dragging this hose around, it gets really dirty. With the waterless washes, I'll be using this bag. You'll see it. But so one thing I should mention quick, with having your keg in a bag, it's great, it's convenient, but I would recommend unhooking the hose for transport. Reason being, you do something to push that sprayer and you just empty the keg in your bag. With that being said too, with this specific bag, if you don't unhook, because I forgot in the video, if you don't unhook your hose, you can only shove 2 bottles in because the hose needs somewhere to go. When I work, I just hang everything out here and I just let the hose do its thing, right? So this is what I would consider your typical waterless wash. Pretty much take your keg, spritz the whole vehicle down. It's like using a quick detailer but on a larger scale, right? This paint is also far from perfect, as you can see. Ooh. Look at that one. We got another little dancer. The fact that this is a convertible too is neat because you're able to wash it right here without bringing the top up, anything. Super efficient, right? Oh, as far as like the rims, they're pretty clean as it is. So, I mean, I might touch the faces, but I might not too. We'll just see what happens. Okay, so got our bag. I'm sure by now you guys have seen the prep of the bag. 2.5 gallon detail keg, 25-foot hose, waterless tip, fact, I'm pretty sure this video is going to be released before I even make the announcement on the waterless tip. Pretty excited about them. It's a finer mist, so for a waterless wash, you really don't need a ton of liquid, right? Because as you can see, it's pretty much just a dusting. It's a light dusting. You just need enough liquid to go onto the surface to pick the dirt up, so when you wipe, it all goes into your towel. With this wash too, just because, I mean, there's nowhere for the dirt to go minus inside of the towel, so you make the towel really dirty. I'm going to be using my dirty amphibian from earlier. Just because after this wash, yeah, that towel's getting washed, man. She done. So, with this being a convertible too, it's super nice because with a detail keg, you can aim your liquid from outside of the interior, right? So you can wash a convertible with the top down in place. Pretty neat. When you are controlling your spray with a detail keg, you want to, how am I going to word this? You want to spray from where you don't want the liquid to be. You'll see what I mean in a second, but yeah, I'll just get to work. So for example, the back deck here, your deck lid, you take your hose, inside the interior, you spray out, okay? Just like that. The side, same thing. Woo! Purging from everything. Same at the top. You just a light mist, that's all you're doing. Another thing to mention too is how close the jag is. Can't do that with the pressure washer. There's a bug on the windshield. Go ahead and hit it with something to break that up a little bit more. And then, as a drying aid, instead of Valor, I'm going to try some Angelwax Enigma QED. Never used it before, but everything I've used from Angelwax is top notch. It really is. Price point's a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Quality products. I'm super excited to check this out. On the bottle, because you are supposed to read the bottle before you use the product, right? It says to wash, rinse, and then use this on the wet panel, dry, buff. Valor pretty much says the same thing. Since this is a waterless wash, our product's already on there. I'm just going to go into a towel, just like I always do. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. That's what I do. Take it. A couple spurts into the towel. As you can see, I don't have my detailer's helper. Drop the ball. And then we'll take our towel and we'll just wipe it down. I try to keep the same motion to keep the dirt in the fibers the same way. It makes sense, so that's what I do. sandbag. I mean, it's just, there's no pressure. You just gently slide it across. She's getting dirty. This side. Just getting a little saturated. I might need to come back afterwards. Buff the rest of this off. We'll see. It might dry. Yeah, I'm gonna go around, do the other half quick, and see how that does. So I let the Enigma QED dry. As you can see, this is what we've got. There's some spots where there's just some very super slight hazing. There's a couple factors that can come into play with that too, right? That could be my towel because it really wasn't clean. Oh, come on, where are we at? Where are we at? Right there. Here we go. Yeah, like in the glass, there's just slight. So, I mean, The bottle does say you have to come back and buff it, so it might just be what it is. But there could be the towel. It could be, there's another good one. Could be too much product. Who knows, right? But, so it's my first time using it. Super neat product though. So we'll take our Autofiber, and we turn this light off. Oh, just about dropped her. Our Autofiber double flip sealant towels. We'll just go over and just buff everything off quick. As you can see, it does come off quite easy. Yeah, we have a very nice deep shine. It's a nice product. So I'm gonna go back over and buffer the rest of her up quick, and then we'll get to this one. She's just a tad bit dirtier. Woo! I just finished up doing a once over, buffing off all the haze. Everything came off super easy. Like I said, even Valor will do that too if you use too much product. I mean, there's a lot of variables we're playing with here, right? Plus, on top of everything, I really don't have the cleanest towel. So, I mean, it could be 100% operator error, or it could be that's just how the product is. I don't know. It's my first time using it, but I really like it. It's an awesome product so far. As you can see, the paint, still not perfect, but it wasn't perfect when we began. But we didn't cause any more damage by doing the wash, right? That's my point. Tires, I didn't even touch them. There's no liquid on the inside whatsoever. You're able to control all that liquid as you're cleaning, right? Yeah, it's a super nice product. I like it. I gotta move my shop quick. Shop's moved. So this one is, it's gonna be a waterless wash, but I wouldn't consider this a traditional waterless wash because of how dirty it is, right? As you can see, paint is absolutely trashed. But more than that, just how dirty it is, right? Leave this window down for demonstration purposes. That, and I don't feel like finding the key. I don't know where it's at. But it's filthy, right? Just doing a quick walk around. We've got a lot of something there. It's been dripping. These tires I'm probably not even going to touch. But they still look decent, right? Don't touch them, they won't look dirty either. Right? Oh, excuse me. Got more stuff dripping right there. I'm not going to move this garbage can either. I'm going to leave it right there for demonstration purposes. I'm not going to get that wet. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. Mercedes looks so good. Looks so good right now. So I think I got a quick minute. Doing a waterless wash on this. We're going to be drying with your standard dreadnought. One of the biggest trade-offs between a waterless wash and a rinseless wash is your drying time. All that dirt, all that crap, trash, whatever you want to call it, it's going to go into your towel, right? A car like this, you might be able to squeeze 2 washes out of one of these towels. That's about all I'd go though, especially if the trash is, or the paint's this trashed. You can definitely get 2, possibly 3. I mean, use your best judgment, but yeah, for applications like this where we're carrying a bucket, it is too much. It's great, right? It's a great alternative. We will be drying with Valor as a drying aid, and yeah, let's hammer down. Thing for a bit. Got my detailer's helper. Rookie move. I know. I get it. Everybody does it. So, start at the back. Get my towel a few spurts. And then again, same direction. All the way around. Very, very minimal pressure, and literally almost no pressure whatsoever. Sauce. As you can see though, I mean, it's pretty dirty pretty quick, but it's filthy too, right? It is what it is. Nature of the beast. Go to the other side. and not value. Around to the other side. Hope there's not too much noise. There you have it. So here's the aftermath of the heavy waterless wash. It's been probably 20 minutes or so since I finished. I had a customer come and pick up a vehicle, and I've been kind of hanging out for a minute while the forklift guy does who knows what. There's a couple puddles still left, but it's very minimal, right? No liquid got on the inside whatsoever. I don't think I need the scan grip. Show you guys the paint still swirled up. But it is. Surprisingly. I know. Amazing. Tires still look good. Cheer. Looks good, cleaned up. Got a couple puddles there. Right there. You got one right here. And you got one right here. So I really dumped some fluid back here to pick up those spots that we had back there. Still didn't move the garbage can either. That's right. Like a boss. She looks good, man. She looks real, real good. Alright. Oof. Really not the biggest fan of these old Jags. But this old girl cleans up real nice. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so I am going to fill my bucket with a rinseless dilution of Fusion, 1 ounce to 128, which is 1 ounce per gallon. In my bucket, I obviously have my Autofiber double flip rinseless towels. Dirt log, great yard. So 5. Dump it in. Rinse out our measuring cup. And while that's filling, no. Say hello to Jackson. Hey, go lay down. Go on. He's one of our Great Danes. He's 4. Hey. Oh, sorry, he's 3. He's almost 4. I don't even know how old he is. Hey, no. He loves the water. Go lay down. Come on. Come on. Good boy. All the way. Hey. Whatever. It is what it is. That's going to be slow too, so. It's going. So, in the keg, I am going to be using Fusion 20 to 1. It still has probably a third of a gallon left or so. So we're going to put 2.5 gallon keg. A little over a gallon. So with the bag, 20 to 1, 6, about 8 ounces. And dump it in. Go ahead and run. No. Lay down. Hey, go lay down. Good boy. And then we're going to obviously fill that a little over a gallon, and this leaves us with enough capacity so we pressurize it up. We can use it as a standalone unit. We don't have to be hooked up to a compressor. We're still coming for a little bit. The hose is pinched out front somewhere. But instead of going out there and fixing it, I'm hanging out and talking. Okay, that's probably good. Let's have our measuring cup. And fill that up. I figured it out. We're good now. It's in between 2 settings. Fill this up quick. It's so foamy. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So, with my hose, lid on. Make sure that hose is on. I'm not gonna be using that hose. Take your regulator, plug it in, crank up to 150. And 150. Unhook it. When you unhook it, don't unhook it from here, because if you do, you're going to depressurize the keg. You always want to unhook it from the keg. And you get to work. Oh, shit. One more thing too I should add, because in the other keg filling video section I have, whatever you want to call it, I talked about having an empty hose. Since I still have fluid in the bottom, this hose never purge. There's no air in this hose. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to purge this hose if you're refilling. It's only if you have an empty hose. This hose is empty. If I hook this hose up, I will need to purge this hose. But I'm not using a foaming tip on this job, so it's here for decoration. So this is what I would consider more of a basic rinseless wash on a ceramic coated vehicle. As you can see, the rims are pretty dirty. Ew. I'm not going to be doing the wheel wells or the barrels. I'll be doing the rim faces. Door jambs. I was going to be using just one hose. Just a sprayer tip. But with how dirty it actually is, I'm going to switch out the spraying tip with the foaming tip to show the difference between running one hose compared to two. Because obviously if you had two hoses that reached out of your dual spraying keg, you wouldn't need to switch tips. And mine, the other hose is just a couple feet long. So, yep. Here he is again. Jackson. Okay, so with this being more of a basic rinseless wash without getting the wheel wells, air wells, but with it, everything still being so dirty, I'm going to take my foaming tip, take off my standard tip, screw on my foaming tip, straighten it up. I'm going to foam everything below. And because of how dirty it is, I may as well just switch it over to our standard tip. Adjust it. And lay our preset. detail this over once again. Well, it's quiet over here anyways. So I'll be drying with just a standard dreadnought. I've got a dirty towel for the rims, a towel to go back over the glass, buff it. Because this vehicle is coated, I will be using IGL enhancer. It's coated with an IGL coating. So towels on paint. And those bears. Side's done. Or the other side. Get that side done. so we are going to start with switching our phone too. I'll do it one more time. Just because I can. Oops. Straighten that out. These towels, like there's no pressure whatsoever. You just set it on, you pretty much just let it just glide. I'm gonna grab these towels first. So I should add two. Pants are falling down. Hit the ground. I don't know when, but it happened. That towel's on hand though. Don't you worry. There you have it. For the final walk around. Again, I didn't do the wheel wells or the barrels, but the tires turned out good. They were probably a little too dirty to do without my bucket, but they turned out good. You got all your trim, handles. Those are chips, okay? Don't get too carried away with yourself. No tire shine on these, by the way. Just natural. Okay, so this should be our last wash for the video. It's my motorcycle, as you can see. It looks like it's sat in a barn. Super dirty, filthy. Couple things to pay attention to on bikes. See if it's got a chain or a belt. If it's got a chain, don't really clean it, right? It needs that lubrication, that grease in there. Keep on keeping. A couple other things too is look for electronics. So you got your coil here. You obviously don't want to get that too wet. Computer. There's only a few spots they put electronics in on bikes. Sometimes your computer is going to be down here. Generally behind these. Got all your relays and whatnot, right? Yeah, there's a computer. So I'm guessing the rest of the electronics are up under the seat. Seat's bolted down. I should probably pull it with it being this dirty, but I don't know, we might. We'll see. Things like this. Yeah, these gotta get clean. Like that's why it's here. Outside of that, like there's really nothing to worry about. The gauges up here. Take a look at this because, I mean, some bikes that have a huge fancy GPS LCD display up there. This one isn't too crazy. Yeah, we gotta clean like all this. Ew. Ew. We'll be using the same. It's a 3-gallon, and the video when I pressured it up, I called it a 2.5. I got it confused with my other one. But no, that's definitely a 3-gallon. I haven't touched it, anything like that. I'm not going to be using that hose. I'll be taking the foaming tip off, putting it on this. I just don't want to purge that line. I don't really care to. I don't need that hose. Same wash bucket. Using Valor as a drying aid. And we're using some Shizzle Bizzle for the greasier spots. Shizzle Bizzle is pretty much F-bomb and Wipeout combined. And yeah, we'll get to work. So I kind of bumped it when I stood up, so hopefully my head's still in it. Anyways, I've got my 2 bike brushes. One's a softer, stiffer bristle. One is a softer, finer bristle. This is what I generally use for in between buttons. This is for everything else. Because this bike is so dirty, I'm going to be doing pretty much to the rims, tires, all through here. Pretty much the cleaner, dirtier parts to the dirty, dirtier parts. And then this will get tossed off. It'll get cleaned and ready for the next job. So, that goes right there. String my hose out. Switch out my tips. We'll go through and we will foam the dirtier parts first. Let that kind of dwell. Do its job. Hang out. So in between here, I mean, there's obviously grease. I don't work on bikes, but it's a moving point, right? So don't go super crazy cleaning the points where they move, like inside of there. But been sitting so long, it looks like trash. We gotta clean it up a little bit. Switch to our standard spraying tip, and we'll hit everything else. Again, with the gauges, all that depends on how complex they are, but like these gauges, just a light spurt. That's all they need. Right? So to some extent, these are made to be ridden in the rain. Just you don't want to ride in the rain. Okay. We'll start top to bottom, wash it down using Autofiber double flips. I'm going to go and push out some of the areas. So, I guess I should mention quick, you could have done that with water, right? Simplicity reasons, I got 1 keg here, doing 1 keg. As far as liquid used, it's still pretty full, so that's after filling it, thinking it's a 2.5 gallon. Here's what it is. Okay, so now, go through with this brush. I'm just gonna go brush through all the top clips. All the buttons. Just trying to get all that out. Hardware, all that. So it's fine, small areas, right? course, I forgot my detailer's helper. A rookie mistake. But all you get here is the neighbor's dog barking. But in a forklift, I suppose. Grab a towel quick. And basically just start wiping down as we go. We get down below, we'll probably hit it a couple other times. Let all that kind of break up. There's so many nooks and crannies. But that's how bikes are. And they're smaller than a car, but they can take longer to detail than a car a lot of the time because of all these small nooks and crannies that are just freaking everywhere. We'll go down, wipe down all the painted areas quick. Follow where's the drain. Here comes the old timer. What are you doing, bud? Huh? What are you doing? Hey, come here. No, he doesn't want to come over. Hey, come here. Boy. No, Knuckles. No, no. Good boy. Boy. So, this is Nixon. He's turning 9 this year. Huh, he's the old timer, huh? You're boys. You're boys. Probably just getting up after having his breakfast, huh? Boys. Tell me all about it, huh? All about it. What? Oh yeah? Here comes the other one. Young buck. Their personalities are like Eeyore and Tigger. That one obviously being Tigger. now, just throw it away. That's why I like Costco towels, they're disposable. I'm not going to be polishing any of the crumb up, so it is what it is. Pretty much just more of an in-depth wash. You still got some stuff right there. Let's got some grease on it too. Toss it. Touch up this glass. You gotta be super gentle with this plexiglass. Super, super gentle. On quick. I think it'll be all done. It's crazy how long bikes can take. You think they're not going to take very long because they're so small. But they take just as long, if not longer, than a car. Nice long polish. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was all beat up. One thing too, I want to mention right now, because I'm thinking about it, because I use a lot of Costco towels that have tags, right? So, when they come out of the bag, they come like this, right? I always fold them just like a book, right? So, I guess I should put down so I can get into the picture. So, when you open the book, right, you open it up, because it's easy to keep track of what side's dirty to that point, right? When I open it up, I always take the tag and I fold the tag in. It's easy to keep track of that side, this side, and then you open it. Obviously, this is clean, but that's your last side. Close it, hit that, tear the tag off, use that side. If you're using it on paint, whatever. Interiors, dirty stuff, tags can stay on. But, and that's it. We'll get the camera, we'll do a walk around, check it out. Okay, we'll do our walk around really quick. Some of this back here, it's all corrosion. This thing could use a full spot A, but for a wash, it looks good. Yeah, don't really have any complaints. Minus it needs a full, a full spot A. Great. With all this in here, it's all pitted, and it's all pitted. Oh, there we go. Right through here. Paint's kind of trashed. Glass cleaned up good. Oh, come on. There you go. And besides all that, it looks good. Right? Oops. Kick that over. Looks really good. So this is what I would consider a traditional waterless wash. It's going to be pretty much the same as the red convertible Mercedes. That guy. Except for this paint's pretty clear. Right? It's not 100% perfect, but it looks good. It looks really good. Oops. I'm not a huge fan of these SM95 Mustangs, but a 96 Mystic, ooh, pulls at my heartstrings. You see the back had some serious dripping on it. We got a leak in here. They look good. Tires, I'm not gonna touch them. Right, it's more of just a dusting. As you can see, it's not terribly dirty, but it is dirty. Whew. Okay. Can't forget this too. From that earthquake though. We have our Mystic. So this is going to be a standard waterless wash, really similar to the red Mercedes. Basically just a light dusting with obviously our mobile rig. On our sprayer we have our waterless tip. Something I should mention with the bag and all the videos you've seen, I believe this is going to be the last one of the waterless washes. I haven't repressurized the keg, anything like that. We still got plenty of juice, especially for a waterless wash like this, because you're not, there's no dirt or debris to push off, right? You're just laying a nice, consistent, even layer of pre-soak, so that when you go over and you wipe everything up, I mean, it just picks up into the towel and you rock and roll. With this job as well, I'll be using IGL Enhancer as the drying aid. Reason being is, believe it or not, this has IGL wax on it. I know, it's not coated, whatever. I like topping stuff with waxes. One of those guys. So yeah, IGL enhancer is a drying aid on top of the IGL wax. With our, we'll be using a new, make sure I'm in the picture here, a new amphibian. Yeah, it's going to get dirty after this one wash, but again, that's your trade-off between carrying a bucket and all the other stuff that you need with you, or just a mobile rig in a bag. So, let's get to work. No tires, no rims, no wheel wells, no door jams. Just a pretty much basic dusting, except for the back. The back is a little, she got dripped on a little bit. No, you don't want to go too heavy, right? It's literally just a light misting. Which is why these waterless tips are so awesome. So, in fact, I'll even grab the camera to show what I mean. I mean, you can probably see it. Oh, it's fixed. Oh well. So, well, yeah, we're gonna have to change that. Hang on. I wasn't expecting this. But we're here, so there it goes. Okay. I mean, as you can see, it's just a light misting. Just enough to go into the dust, pick it up. Like that's the biggest bead yet right there, right? Super fine mist. That's all you need. Okay, so hang on. Let me put you back. To where you were. It's right here somewhere, I promise. That. Maybe. Up just a little bit right there. Okay. Let me just put this back too. Hang on, bear with me. Sorry. Okay. That should be good enough. So, hopefully I'm still in the picture. I have to duck down a little bit. So because this back corner was the dirtiest, I'm going to start on that end. So that when I get back here, I don't instantly fill my towel with all that. I should have started with my pre-soak over there. We're here, whatever. Again, when I use my drying aids, LSP, whatever you want to call it, right? I like putting it into the towel. A lot of instructions say put it on the pane. I just feel like I got more control when I put it in the towel. Is it right? Is it wrong? You tell me. I have no idea. There's little to no pressure as you slide it along. Like just let the towel, the products, everything just do its own work. You don't have to really do much of anything, right? tile's getting, because you can see what's clean, what's dirty, and what's not. So, especially something like this with paint that's relatively clear. I mean, the double weave will hold a ton, just safe security. That's all it is. Cheap insurance. Before my towel gets too saturated, I'm going to take my last dry side, buff the rest of the glass. Back to our last clean side on the dreadnought, and we'll finish her down. So now, this towel, my Autofiber double flip sealant towel, I'm going to touch up small, few little spots. There she be. I did miss one spot. Rookie. this is the same towel I've used the whole time too, so gotta find a clean spot on it. Do a walk around. Go do our walk around now. Okay, so let's do our walk around quick. Check out how bad we swirled the paint on this Mystic. Oh, you don't say. So you might see some streaking throughout the car because we just used the one towel. I mean, I guess I did use 2 towels, but the reason why I used the second towel was for the back, right? Oop. Because back here, it had all those water spots. Like I used so much, there's even some on the ground, okay? With a waterless wash like this, that is too much fluid. Given I had a special circumstance where I needed to lift all the spots back here, so that's why I went with more liquid. So, but I mean, even back here, right? You might see a couple smears or streaks. You could go back over and buff all that off. But for demonstration purposes, we're just running with it. Now this window, it looks like it's streaked, right? As you can see, but you only put a line in it, and it doesn't change. Which tells me that all those scratches are in the glass. We're rolling up and down, right? You got a couple more streaks right there. But considering that's one towel, what, like 15 minutes? It's pretty impressive, right? You just gotta believe in the products you're using, the tools you're using, and just figure out a technique that works for you, right? It looks really good. Really, really good. I love these Mystics so much. Even though I hate this body style, these Mystics, pull up my heartstrings. Cheers, again. So, another thing to consider with waterless washing too, I didn't mention. So with some of these compounds, right, they're super dusty when you use them, especially when you run them for a hair touch too long. They just dust out super, 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 super bad. You can waterless wash that. The same method. You might even be able to get away with going lighter. You know what I mean? Use less of a towel that way. So, turns out I had more than one video not saved. And we'll do this one again. Woo! The first go around, this was more of a basic rinseless wash, with more depth, more in detail on the rims, because I mean the brakes are pretty big. These things kick up a lot of brake dust. I might cut sections in and maybe do a talk over. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But regardless, so thanks to the earthquake, it does have some dust on it. In this video, it will be a basic rinseless wash, clay, and seal. As you can tell, it's a little rough. Before people freak out and say, oh, you're going to mar the paint, whatever. Paint's really not in the best condition. Oh, come on. There it goes. It's not in the best condition as it is, right? Focus, focus. I guess you can see it. Let me turn my brightness up. I mean, the paint's really swirled as it is, right? Yeah, this guy's never wanted to pay for any machine work. So I've never done. Oh, where are we at? Right there. Oops, excuse me. It's early in the morning. Drinking my coffee. So he's never wanted to pay for any machine work, so I've never done any machine work. So I've been taking care of this car for a long, long time too. And the paint's always been like this. So yeah, we'll hammer down. Okay, so this is going to be our basic rinseless wash, clean bucket. It's obviously pretty clean, minus some dust and whatnot from the earthquake. We're going to clay it. It's pretty rough. You'll probably hear that on the camera. Ooh. Clay it, we're going to seal it. As far as clay bar goes, I thought I had some traditional clay here. I don't. Looks like Play-Doh, looks like silly putty. It's a little bit different than that, but that's basically what it is, right? You have your fake clay. Like I say, I really can't call it fake clay because it's not fake, right? It's in my hands, it's real. The first company I knew to make these was Nanoskin, so that's what I call these, are Nanoskins. This is an actual Nanoskin, or this. It's a Nanoskin holder. This part, it's actually just a pad, right? The holder's a Nanoskin, but this actual clay is just, it's a cheap knockoff that I got to try out, and it's still kicking. So these lights back on. Stood for too long. Gotta love motion sensor lights sometimes. As far as claying goes, with a vehicle like this, and with having wipeout in the bucket, because generally my production bucket I'll use Fusion, wipeout has more lubrication than Fusion does, so in a job like this it's perfect. So I'll spritz it down. I will then take the mitts. I'll do a quick wash on it. I could probably do a waterless wash, but since I am claying, I kind of want to clean off those surfaces a little bit better. And I'll come back through with my clay bottle, which is wipeout mixed 10-to-1 for clay lube. So 32-ounce bottle, 3 ounces, hair over 3 ounces of wipeout. So go back over it, we'll clay it, then we'll come back over it again, dry it, valor it, and it'll be done. And as far as where to put these, I generally just dump these in the bucket. On this job, because it's demonstration purposes, I'm not even going to use the little guy, I'm just going to use the big one. So, get to work. So just one thing I should mention, I don't know how much of the bag you can see in the camera, but the keg that's in the bag is the same keg I've been using through all of this. This is the last wash with that bag. I mean, we still got pressure, so it wasn't a big keg to begin with, right? It's a 2.5 gallon keg. Start with 1.5 gallons of liquid. See how far we can get. So we'll start with doing just a nice light pre-soak. I mean, it's mostly dust. I mean, we have some stuff from the earthquake. I don't know if I got that on camera. Maybe I did. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Sort of show you guys how light like it's just barely, right? That's some of that dirt. Oh, there's some more right there. Woo. So it's barely. Just enough to just go on the surface and just kind of sit on all that dust. So we'll go over now. Do a quick wash on it. Quick wipe down. Oh, come on. There we go. Hopefully it stays right there. And it didn't. Good thing I stayed to make sure, huh? Boom. Another thing to mention too, now with how clean this car is, really, you can stretch your wash mitts a lot further because there's not going to be nearly as much dirt in the towel, right? Drop them in the bucket, I let them soak. How I keep track of them, so there's 3 towels in there, right? How I keep track of them is just like a file. So the one that's dirty, I put it furthest away. I grab the closest. And then when that one's dirty, then I grab the closest. That's how I keep track of it. Everybody's different. But I do let them soak in the bucket, and then when I grab the dirty one, I'll scrub it on the bottom, do some laundry in the bucket, get the dirt and crab, let it go down, pick it up, and fold it up. You get the point. back over, we'll clay it. Because this isn't in the other video. I was talking to a guy once about clay lube, Detail Kegs, right? And got to talking about putting clay lube in a detail keg. And, well, the conclusion was, unless if you're doing like some serious like production claying, which I don't know anybody that does, but with modern processes, technologies, maybe somebody actually does. It's just not that well known, right? Because it's not the sexy part of detailing, right? Yeah, all you need for a car at the very most is 32 ounces of clay liquid. For this whole car, I might use like half this bottle, right? So, again, wipe out 10-to-1 as a clay lube on my knockoff nano skin. Go over the clay, all the paint, clay the windshield. Pretty self-explanatory. With clay too, lubrication is almost everything, right? Lubrication helps from marring, obviously. It helps from your clay sticking, all that. Too much and you're just wasting product. There's a fine line there. At the same time, when you're claying too, you have pops and you have cracks. I don't know how else to explain it. The cracks is claying. Pops is more, you have dirt in your pad, there's something on the surface, tar, something like that. When you have too many pops, you gotta check, make sure it's clean. You can fill it with your hand. I guess another thing that I should have done too. An old secret, trick, whatever you want to call it, to seeing how dirty your paint is you put your hand in a Ziploc bag, you go and you can fill the paint. The plastic on the Ziploc bag magnifies the contaminants on the paint. It's kind of neat. Obviously do that with this, because you could hear it. You could probably hear it from 6 feet away, however far away this is. So, yeah, quit blabbing, I'll start cleaning. So just lay decent coat, lay some on your pad, and you just slide it. There's no pressure at all whatsoever. Just let it slide. I guess one thing I should add too is they also offer a clay mitt, like a clay towel. It's exactly what they sound like they are, right? So instead of having a pad, you'll have a mitt you put your hand in. One side has the clay side, the other side's a mitt. It's awesome. Check it out. guess one thing to add too, now that I'm thinking about it, one nice benefit over your nano skin over traditional clay is you can drop this, rinse it off, dunk it, reuse it. If you drop traditional clay, see ya, it's garbage. Absolute garbage. Even if you hold it, it doesn't matter. Also too, when you are claying, you can feel when this becomes smooth, there's nothing left. It's hard to show that when it's something that you base off of feeling here, or yeah, feeling and hearing, but you get what I'm saying. One thing too, when I clay, usually when I work, I listen to headphones. But when I clay, I always take one ear out, just so I can hear. There's a fine line with everything when it comes to claying. It's a lot like wet sanding too, right? There's always that fine line. I'm going to go around, I'm going to play the other side. Well, I guess I can't play the other side, I need to watch it first. It's early. It's really, really early. I guess I'll go over, yeah, we'll dry this side, and then I'll go to the other side off the camera. Finish this side first, hang on. Okay, so my detailer's helper, not my valor. Switch this around a little bit. One thing too, my detailer's helpers, I didn't mention this in any of the other videos, but I'm thinking about it right now. Because I use these for everything. I use these more than Detail Kegs. I'm not exaggerating. Because, like right now, I'm not using a Detail Keg to dry this, right? I use these for interiors, exteriors, everything. I have numerous belts set up for numerous things. I don't get paid by detail or by a detailer's helper at all. I'm not even associated with them outside of being a customer. I just really believe in these. So most guys wear these forward. I always do them backwards to keep the clips in the back, right? They have covers for the clips. I just wear them backwards, always. The straps, they work. Clip in. My interior belt, it's huge. It's got a lot of crap on it. Yeah, just thought I'd give them a shout out quick. They're awesome. So, blower. I always spray into the towel. Just have it. Directions on the bottle say you spray the panels. It's up to you, right? Which way is right, which way is wrong, I don't know. It's what I prefer. If it works for you, run with it. Go through and dry it. What I'm feeling for is how wet the towel is. Because once it gets super saturated, I'll switch to another side. As far as like dirt contaminants, the double weave in this towel will hold all the dirt you're going to pick up on a car similar to this, right? So I'm really not worried about picking up dirt and scratching the paint because of the tool I'm using, Autofiber Dreadnought. And there's no pressure whatsoever on top of the towel. It's just flowing. The hood one more time. We'll go back over, buff the glass really quick. Sweet. I'll go around off the camera, do the other side. Then come back, do a walk around. Okay, so a couple things really quick before we do our walk around. I don't know where my head's at. Hopefully it's not getting chopped off. We'll do one of these. In one of the other videos I showed how dirty the towel got. So I want to show how dirty this one is. It's not, right? I mean the darkness is because it's damp. That's it. I could probably, oh yeah, for sure. I could do this same job on another car, sedan, with this same towel and get the same results. What I mean is no streaking, anything like that. And if the streaking is there, it's very, very minimal, to the point where you're not going to see it under these lights. You need something a lot brighter, and you need to be looking for it. Yeah, this towel I would hang up, and would be considered a clean drying towel. I would use this towel again and again until it didn't absorb anymore. 6 washes or so, give or take 2 maybe. Yeah, so the other thing to mention, sure my head's down. The keg in here, the 2.5 gallon keg, I haven't touched it. The washes that I lost, they didn't use this keg. So all the washes in that are using this is what I use on. I think there's 3. Pretty sure there's 3. I'm going to do another video dumping the contents of this out and see how much we have left. I'm curious. I mean, there's quite a bit in there. I'm not going to take a guess, but I'll leave that for later. Yeah, sort of walk around. So, I mean, as you can see, come on, focus. There you go. The paint's still swirled, right, as I expected. But there's no marring, right? Now, oh, come on, girl. Excuse the burping too. My coffee this morning's strong. Come on. Okay, we'll go down here. Our dancing guy. Oh, I'll focus a little bit better. And that's all you get. Sorry, it's better than nothing though. So, the point I'm trying to make, dance is real good, is I mean you can look and there's no marring, right? Now, I'm not saying that you can go and clay all paint and not cause marring. That doesn't happen. But what I'm trying to say is there's too many variables to say yay or nay, right? Like this, yeah, this needs a complete correction, right? But the owner doesn't think so. The owner doesn't care. But the fact that it's going to be smooth and shiny, oh man, that's all it's going to matter, right? Woo. It's really good through there, especially this guy. That guy's the best, right? Gloss looks good. Except for the common Bentley window failure. I don't know what causes this, but I've seen it on a handful of older Bentleys. So if anybody knows, I'd love to know what causes that. It's on all the side windows. Not the windshield or the back, just the sides on both sides. Yeah. It's smooth. Customer's going to be stoked, right? Something I should mention, because we used a large diameter nano skin. If you come down here, look on the fender, do you see how you've got that ridge right there, how it, where's my hand? How it goes and it dips down and it comes up right there. So that side's clean. That side's clean. But the middle's not. That's where your traditional clay comes in handy. That's where more sizes of nanoskin come in handy, because you're not going to shove your giant diameter nanoskin in there and get all that, right? Another good spot probably is going to be right here. Yeah. You can probably hear that. Up there is good. Right there. Just because of that, right? That's quite the lip to shove something that big in without hitting the handles and all that. Yeah, same with right here. Hear that? Up there is good. Down there is not. Just something to think about. This video is made for for everybody, really. People that know and people that don't know. So, looks good though. Client's going to be stoked. Shiny, smooth. When it rains, it's going to beat up. You know what I mean? Oof. I'm going to get out of here. Put all this together. So, now I got a charged up scan grip. This job isn't going to be in the video per se, but it is relevant to where I'm going to put it in at, right? So this is coated. It's coated in Kenzo. The guy came in, said the paint's super rough, asked if I could clean it up. So, see if you can hear this. It's raining right now, so hopefully you can hear that. And for a coated vehicle, that's trash, right? Absolute trash. So you go over here where it's been fixed, it's silent. It feels just like it should. So how do you remove paint overspray from a coated car? You clay it, right? The reason why this is relevant is, I mean, we coated the paint. You're going to have some smears in here from the clay lube. And it is a work truck, so it's not 100% perfect. But you can't tell me there's any damage from claying it, right? That's my point. Because you can clay without causing damage. See, smears. That's from the Kenzo rejecting the the Carnauba in my waterless, or my clay lube, right? Now this old girl's done. Let's go check her out. See what we got. Oh, come on, girl. There you go. So like I said, when I coated this truck, I didn't completely correct the paint because it's a work truck. It's used as a work truck. I do not see a purpose in completely correcting paint on work trucks. You know, you gotta save that clear coat for later in its life. But regardless, the fine bit of swirling you do see, you can't tell me that's from claying, right? You just can't. It's not possible. That's my point. Can you clay all the time and get away with not damaging paint? No. But you can do it sometimes. Like I said, there's too many variables to play with, right? Way too many variables. This is a good looking truck. This is a really, really good looking truck. Anyways. Okay, so just really quick. Because a couple of vehicles that I have shown claying, I didn't show any damage to the paint. This is something I clayed and sealed. Again, no machine work, but at the same time, you can see in the light that the paint's already garbage. But there is marring caused from the claying, as you can. Well, that light draws it out. There it goes. So you can see the marring there. I wouldn't really think all the swirling's from it, but the marring definitely is. There's a good spot right there. What I mean by the marring is, how do you explain this? For guys that don't know, you see how it's almost spotted? So that's your peaks and valleys, or your orange peel essentially. The clay went and pretty much scuffed the tops of those peaks. And that's what you're seeing is, I mean, that's the marring. So the valleys wasn't really touched. And that's what's causing the spotting. So, but, I mean, it's smooth, right? This paint's really not in the best condition either. You can see there's chips. The hood was painted, and it was put on, but like all those scratches. A couple other good ones, all right here. The other one's on the other side. But you get my point, right? Oh, he's right here. Those are some good ones too. Woo! Ouch. So yeah, you get my point. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay, so one of the videos I lost, this was a traditional wash. I think I might do a voiceover with my walk around still, but I just want to do another one with my voice, you know. So given I washed it before the earthquake, so it's got some dust on it. So if you see any dust, right, it's all from the earthquake, all of it. But I mean, the tires look good. These were rims, tires, wheel wells were all dressed with Valor, right? Like, it looks good. I really do like Valor as a tire dressing. As long as you can get the tire clean enough and it's not dry rotted. The Green Wrangler I did instead of this, I had to go back and put some tire shine on it just because the tires are done. They're done for. So, I mean, as you can see, like, everything's clean, right? Did you hear that? That's not an earthquake. That's the construction next door. You know? So I've been kind of used to the bangs and pops, but that earthquake, no, it put me on a whole new edge. See? That's what I mean. But, I mean, ton of industrial fallout on this, right? But it's new. It's really new. It's only got... Whoa! Just about took my camera out. 3,900 miles. Oh, come on. There you go. Right? But it looks good. All looks good, like all through there. Oh, come on, focus. Through there looks good. Bumper looks good. That was all trashed. You got a little bit of dirt through just the outside of this seam, it looks like. But I didn't pay a ton of attention to the cover either. I mentioned that in my video, but as you can see, like, I didn't flush it or anything, right? Not trying to justify my shoddy work, but I'm just saying. Look at that tire though, that looks good. Just focus on the tire and just talk about that. With the wheel wells, they look good. Actually, oh, hang on. Let's get some light on the situation, right? Wheel wells look good. The glass, that's all on the inside. You can't see it now, but now, yeah, now you can see it. That's all on the inside. Front looks good. You know, the tires are dressed with Valor. The wheel wells. Valor as well. So, first of all, if you've made it this far, like, seriously. That's impressive. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but I would like to go ahead, tear down the keg, the waterless keg that I used for the 3 cars, and yeah, let's do it. What's up, man? Don't mind my dogs. So, actually first, one thing I didn't mention is a clothes hamper. One like this, they're awesome. And they fold up super small, right? That's good size. It has handles, you can pick it up, you can carry it, throw your towels in there. They're awesome. I didn't mention it before. With a bag, these are great for your dirty towels. That should get a picture. Okay. So another thing too, when I wound this keg up, whatever, I just wanted to get out of there. I was in a hurry. I usually take the time to unhook it from the keg, spool it up real nice, put it in the bag. But no, I just slooped it up quick, put it around the straps, as you can see. And it's awesome, right? What's up, man? So I come check everything out. Make sure it's okay. You know what I mean? Is that alright? Huh? Boys. Lay down. Go on. Go lay down. So, yeah, just I mentioned that too, right? I've never done it. That helps you guys out. Plus, it leaves more room on the inside for whatever you want. So, bag. Toss to the side. So again, this keg has been modified to work on its side, so I might have to take it apart and switch the post fittings around. Whatever, I'll see what happens. I'll empty the hose first. It should be in the picture. Take off my water hose tip. They're awesome. Just wait. Hopefully they're here soon. And if you remember, when I filled this keg, I put a little over 1.5 gallons. I don't have the other gallon. I ended up topping that off, and I put 1 ounce of DD1 in there to try out. DD1 is, oh man, I forgot his last name. What's up, man? It's also a rinseless type solution. It's pretty sweet, super concentrated. I just started playing around with it. I plan on making some videos about it. Hey, go lay down. Go on. So anyways, we'll empty the keg. We'll empty the hose first, right? Another thing too, Wipeout doesn't foam, so you don't have to worry about foaming at all. And while we're at it, we're ready to just release all the pressure. Just wait. I got a trick up my sleeve, don't you worry. Okay. So the hose is empty. So far we've got down to the lip on the gallon. I don't know how much that is. Take the hose off. Release the rest of the pressure. I'll have to switch the posts. I'll just say right now, there's more than I thought that was in there. Straight up. So just to make sure, I'm going to take my series hose and put it on the post just to double check. Yeah. I need to switch it quick. So I'm not going to show you how I modified it, right? Eventually, in fact, Yeah, in fact, within the next few weeks, I'll release something that goes hand in hand with operating your keg on the side. But for right now, I'm not showing you my secrets. Sorry. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, so now we'll take it, seal it back up. We'll put our series hose, right? So when you use these, they're really neat when you use them. You can have multiple kegs in series, and you hook them up, they fill each other as they go. So the keg that you're going to, I mean, obviously your hose, right? Sorry, I had to think for a minute. Make sure I was checking myself. So your hose, right? I mean, this is empty, the keg's empty. Sorry, my throat's a little dry from all this talking, all this recording. So your hose goes on the black side, on your outside. Your series hose would then go on your inside, right? So the keg, this keg I want to pressure it up to about 10 psi, so that should give us enough psi for what I want to do. But what I'm getting to is this hose would then go to the output on that keg, so the contents of this keg would then come out the out tube and then in. So anyways, get rid of that hose, and hopefully everything's tight, everything's good. Yeah, pressure it up. Oops. Yeah. Okay. We'll take those off. And then just for giggles, right? We'll depressurize this keg. There's nothing in it, right? Like, it is bone dry. Okay. Get that out of the road. We'll make sure that's all tight. Take our Detail Keg tap, hook it up. Oh geez, hang on. Gotta make sure it's closed before I hook it up, right? Oh geez, what did I do? Hang on. I don't remember. So, anyways, hopefully that's on the right host. So anyways, we're gonna fill the bottle with the contents. Yeah, it's on the right host. It says the wrong one on here, but I've modified it, switched it around so many times now. I don't remember which side's which. So go ahead, top her off. See how much fluid we have left. Again, remember, I put a little over 1.5 gallons in and washed 3 cars, right? Ugh. Cheers. Got wipe out on tap. So that's more than I thought too. So another thing to mention too, if you do get a tap, right, you only need like 10 psi tops. When I pressured up that keg, I pressured up to 10. Switching over probably kicked it down to at least half, right? Maybe 7. When you actually tap a keg, you only put like 7, 9 psi to it. That's it. Anyways, so much fire. Yeah, it's empty. So there's the lid. So you literally have 3/4 gallon, right? Pretty impressive. But that's because you have more control of where the liquid goes while you're working. It's just the benefit of having a system like this to work with. Yeah, I think that's it. Jackson Hurt's neighbor kids or something. I would like to say thank you for watching. If you seriously made it this far, thank you. Hopefully it wasn't that bad. Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out. And thank you again. Cheers. One thing before I forget, I want to take this keg and show how empty it is, because it's empty. It's really empty. Tap off. Oh, come on. We'll do it this way then. See? It's really empty. Excuse me. Oh, come on now. There we go. See, look at that. Like, you have a slight puddle in the bottom. So what I'm trying to get to is when you use these, there's very little product lost in the operation of the kegs. Okay. Anyways, thank you again.